welcome back to the Wet Shavers round table number 16, and we have a very special guest in the house. We have Busta, the man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just back in town.
Nice. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, if you guys don't know this, but Busta just like flew in like 40 minutes ago from I don't know where you were, but he flew in and now he's on the show, which
and
really
boy,
appreciate
his
it.
tired.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And as always, we have our very own, the truth, David Gonzalez. What up?
How's it going,
Making
guys?
noise.
You
Hey, man.
shut up. How's everything going? And Busta, I have a question. Do you
What's
have
that?
a whole production studio in your house? Jesus
No.
Christ, with all that stuff.
Like you said, I just got off the plane, so I couldn't go home. I went to work, and so I'm doing it from work.
Oh, you're at work. I was like,
When
damn,
I'm
what the hell
not-
goes on in that basement of yours?
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. When I'm not shooting porn, I'm watching.
Exactly.
Feel like this is a weird episode of Office Space or something.
Yeah.
And then, as always, we have our favorite and beloved captain sitting in a car in the middle of Where Are You?
I have no freaking clue. I'm somewhere in Tucson, people, and I'm just waiting for the cops to come knocking on my door. Because this park, they're like working on it. The gate was blocked. And then I found another way in, and I saw some, people playing sports. So I thought I could go up in the bandstand, and that would look really cool, like me, like commentating up there.
That'd be cool.
But it was locked. It was locked. I couldn't get up there. And then everyone's looking at me because they started leaving, and so I just look like the sketchy guy, and then with the backpack. And so
Yes.
now I'm off this bike trail, and it's pretty beautiful. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay,
this is-
so I have a question. I have a question now for Douglas. How many freaking plugins does your phone have that you have headphones and a microphone plugged into your phone? How the hell do you do that shit?
dude, I'm a techno geek.
He's got a
God.
I
splitter.
got it all figured
He's got a
out.
splitter.
Remember, this is the guy that had no sound at the meetup. Remember?
Yes. Which also, I'm curious. I'm gonna ask you guys out there if there is any sound audio, and you guys always do. Let us know if we're having any problems, and you can do that at WS Roundtable via Twitter, and you can ask us questions there, and we will get to them shortly. And also, if you are on YouTube, you can click the link that says "Join in the conversation," and you can ask us questions, and we will answer them on our Q&A section, which will be awesome as usual. And Abraham Viella, I say that right? Viella.
V8. How many
He
L's
said-
is there?
1, 2, 3.
3 L's?
Villella.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
topic now, Abraham.
Okay.
Sorry. But Abraham is actually saying, Busta, and we'll get into this in a minute, but he's saying congrats, and we'll just tease that for now. So,
Okay. That's
yes,
cool.
Well,
congratulations.
congrats.
Yes.
I've been waiting. It seems like this ceremony, I'm not even going to mention names yet because everyone probably knows what I'm talking about, has been happening for like a year now. Every weekend
Yes.
I thought it already happened because there's always pictures and stuff like that. This has been the longest build-up. I hope
Yes.
it's like this explosion of like energy and everything else. Because otherwise, I'm just going to be let down.
Yeah.
I already
Well-
thought it happened like 8 times.
Yes.
All I know is me and Rico need to start campaigning for the same honor now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm feeling left out.
I'm feeling left out too. And speaking of congrats, we also need to say a big congratulations to a Simon Kamaj.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's
just-
exactly what I was talking about.
He just
It's the
got
longest
married.
It's the longest wedding ever. It seems like he's been getting married all year long.
I know.
I
that
know
is-
since we met him, he was already getting married. But
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Simon
Who does
is an
that?
amazing dude, and congratulations to Simon, man. I love that guy. So that's
Yeah.
good, man. Happy
She
days
better
ahead
be
of you,
good
brother.
to you. She better be good.
Yes.
Congrats,
Oh.
Simon.
Yes. And
Kudos.
Simon, if she's not good to you, we will come down there, and I don't know what we'll do. We'll go to
We'll
Pasteur's.
film a show on your
We'll go
front
to
steps,
Pasteur's.
and we'll keep daring each other who's going to knock on the door.
So, real quickly, and I don't think we did this the first time when Busta was on, but we're going to do a quick Q&A with him, and then we'll get into highlights of some products. So, again, as always, guys,
We have evolved a little bit since the last time he's come. It was pretty still ragtag when Busta was here
Dude,
the
it
first
was the
time.
only second show, so.
it was only second show, so you can't blame us for trying.
It's still ragtag.
It is still ragtag.
You know where
for
we
sure.
stole this? You know where we stole this Q&A idea from? We stole it from Busta. People's already had the Q&A with Busta. Get Busta.
Yeah.
On
So let's do it
Periscope.
again.
Everybody steals ideas from me. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, quick question,
No,
guys.
Chris Bailey steals ideas from you.
Well,
Don't confuse us with Chris Bailey.
okay.
So, Busta, I don't think we asked you the first time around. How did you get into wet shaving?
Oh man, a friend of mine, actually my best friend, he got into it, and he actually has a really thick, coarse, hard beard. So he's like, man, you got to try this thing out. He's like, you got to try safety razors, and he was all into the vintage stuff. But I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I went on Amazon and bought all the cheap safety razor stuff. I bought a Lord razor, I bought Persona blades, I bought Perazzo soap, Perazzo aftershave, and a cheap Badger brush, the Escali Tweezer Man brush, which like
Yeah.
everybody buys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two of them.
And I tried it, and the first shave, I was like, this isn't worth it. I was like, because it took me like 20, 30 minutes, and I don't even remember if I cut myself, but I just was so apprehensive about it. And so I did it once, and then I stopped, and then I went back to my cartridge razors, and I'd say for about 20, 30 days, I was doing the cartridge thing again, and one day I just got really bad razor burn from the cartridge razor, and I was like, this sucks. So I don't know. I was like, I'll give it a shot again. I still had all my gear, and the next shave was amazing. It was like, wow, I can't believe how good this shave was, and I've been hooked ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me unmute my microphone.
Everyone else is muted except me.
Yeah. So,
It's like,
Busta,
nice.
Yeah.
you've been doing this for how long have you been wet shaving now?
I think about 2 years now,
2 years.
maybe.
And we all know from watching your videos, you've got a ridiculous amount of soaps and products, and you've tried a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm sure people have sent you stuff to try.
Yep.
What is your favorite aspect? Software, hardware? What is the thing you get excited the most about in wet shaving?
You know, honestly, for me, it's brushes. Like, I love new brushes. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I love to face lather, so everybody knows that. And it's just something about putting that brush on your face and getting the soap going, and it just makes me feel good. I mean, of all the things I do during the shave, that's the one thing that is like the most comforting. And you know, sometimes I remember back when I was really getting a lot of new stuff. Even if I didn't have to shave, I'd lather up the brush, and you know, it was just stupid, but that was my thing. So, and to this day, I'm always looking for better brushes. You know, whether it's synthetic or Badger. And then I think, like honestly, over the last 2 years, my tastes continue to change. And I think if you're in this thing and you're doing it for a hobby and you've got all kinds of stuff, you probably know that. Like, you know, there's something you might use today that you don't necessarily like, and then 6 months later you love it. And
Yeah.
it's kind of how that is. But yeah, for me, it's got to be brushes. I like soaps too a lot, but if there was one thing that I wanted to buy a lot of and the rest I just do one or two, it'd be the brushes.
Wow. So I know you use a lot of brushes, and we won't get into it unless you think we should. There was some controversy a while back about Badger brushes and synthetic and all that stuff. But do you like pretty much Badger, Boar, and synthetic, or do you have like one that you really, really love a lot, or what?
I think it goes back to like what I'm in the mood for, because they all feel different on the face. That's the biggest thing. So like synthetics obviously are super easy to use. They're super soft, but it's almost like they don't have any character. So when you're using them, I mean, they feel nice, but there's nothing special about them. There's like no character to them. Badger and Boar, it's completely the opposite. Like, especially Boar, it's not super soft. It's kind of scritchy, but it's got character. Like, and the character changes depending on how you lather, depending on how much water you use. Like, if you use more water, the brush changes a little. And Badger, I don't know. Of all the brush types, I'd say Badger is probably the one that's the most overrated, in my opinion. I like Badger brushes. There's some that I really like. I'm serious.
Whoa.
It's overrated.
Whoa.
Dude.
Let the man speak. I didn't
Whoa.
that sense.
I might agree with you that they're overpriced, but whoa.
So That's the thing, and maybe it's that it's certain brushes are overrated. But the thing with Badger is either you love the brush you have, or it's mediocre, right? So like I may love, and it changes depending on who the person is. So I may love, my Vylon. I have a Lord Randall Vylon. I love that thing. I mean, and I paid like 150 for it, which is probably worth it. But then at one point I had bought a two-band. What is it, the Manchurian brush from Simpsons, which I absolutely hated. But that brush was all hyped up, and it was probably more than $200. So the point with Badger is it's overrated by the fact that you could buy something that you totally hate that you spend way too much money on, and that's the problem. So the thing with Badgers is I tell people, look, if you want to get a Badger, get something that has a pretty good amount of people saying it's pretty good, but you just never know what you're going to get. With Boar, heck, if I don't like the brush, I spent $20 on it, or I spent $10 on it, so it's not a big deal. But when you buy a brush for $100+ and you don't like it, it's not that easy to swallow.
Yeah.
And then as far as the synthetics, I mean, you can't. There's nothing you can say about synthetics that is pretty bad. The only bad thing you can say, like I said before, is they don't really have any real soul to them. It's kind of.
I don't get that. I don't know what you mean by that, because I think they do, and I think you can. Even David in one of his videos demonstrated that when you heat it up in hot water, it actually changes the personality of the bristles as well.
Well, and maybe that's true, but for me, like when I use my synthetic, it's just kind of like I know what I'm going to get, and I know what it's like, and that's what I get. And it's not that I don't like them. I think synthetics are great. If I want a quick shave and I just want something that feels nice and soft, that's what I go for. But if on that day I feel like I want something like extra special, meaning I want to feel some kind of like face feel that's different, then I'll switch to either a Badger or Boar. And honestly, depending on what Badger or Boar I pick, I'm getting a different feel. Now
Same thing with synthetics, though. I mean, unless we're talking about one knot like Lasan that everyone seems to be using now, then yeah, that's going to be the same shape every time, depending on how deep it's set, so on and so forth. But I mean, there's so many different types of synthetics out there.
And I do agree with. And I probably got like 4 or 5 different types of knots. The one thing I will say, maybe that's clouding my judgment, is that recently I bought like 5 or 6 brushes that are all that Plasan knot.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they're all good brushes. I mean, like even 2 of the ones I bought, I have 2 Crown King brushes that are great brushes. But I also have a couple others that have that Plasan knot that are also great brushes. But after a while, it starts feeling the same. And actually, I was planning on doing kind of like a comparison with all the Plasans to see if I can feel a difference. But I agree. If you get then like the Uber Soft, and then there's this new one I got called the the Game Changer. They all have a different feel to them. But I think the variety of feel you get from non-synthetic is just a lot different. I mean, there's a lot more variety. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I bet you this month I'm going to be big on Boar. Next month I'm going to be big back on my Badgers. Next month I'll be big on my synthetics again. I mean, I got so much stuff that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
The one thing is to think about is, I know we do this as a hobby and it's really cool, but my guess is you go back to 1950 or 1930 when people were using these brushes and they bought one brush and they loved it for the rest of their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
With plastic bristles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I love all my brushes. That's, to me, one of the hardest things to pin down is like which type. I love horsehair brushes. I love Badger brushes. I love Boar brushes. I love my Plasan and my synthetics. And I like, the funny thing about synthetics, what I really enjoy about those is they're just so easy. Like, with the brush, you've got to prep it. If it's a natural hair fiber brush, like a Boar or Badger or horse, you got to soak it for a while and let it kind of get wet so you don't damage the bristles. But it's like synthetics just so much fun. You just rinse it with warmish water and then you're ready to go.
And it's like zero maintenance. I mean, like you don't even have to worry about if you're traveling. I think it's the best to travel with a synthetic.
It is the best.
Oh, I completely agree. And you don't have to worry about cleaning them every month. And I mean, it just
not at all.
Okay, I'm totally not interested in this conversation. I'm more of a Badger guy, so.
I can't hear you because your mic's making too much noise.
Next subject.
All right, next subject. Busta.
Jeez.
So, tip for a newbie. If you had to give one tip to a guy just getting into wet shaving, what would it be?
Honestly, and this is probably something that I wish I would have learned, is buy some gear and stick with it for quite a while. You know, if you get a safety razor, get yourself a brush, get yourself whatever you start with. Odds are, unless you bought the absolute worst gear, which is probably not possible, it's going to work for you. So don't then buy something new a month later. Use that gear for 6 months. Really use the gear. And you're going to find that you get better at it. You love it. I think that's where after a while, you get so much stuff, you kind of get burnt out. And then you go back to the stuff you started with, and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. So that would be my biggest tip for wet shavers that are new. Number one, stick with it, because the first 2 or 3 shaves are a little daunting, but stick with it. But then number 2 is just keep using that same gear. Do not fall into this trap that whatever I got wasn't as good as what this guy got, which isn't as good as what this guy got, because then what you end up doing is buying more and more stuff. And it's not that you shouldn't buy more stuff. I think eventually it's nice to have a collection, but you can't buy any more stuff thinking that you're going to get a way better shave. You'll get a better shave possibly, but ultimately just using that original gear is going to start giving you a better shave.
Yeah, I totally agree. And guys out there, I know we've got quite a few viewers watching. If you are watching and you want to be a part of the conversation, just a reminder, tweet us at WS Roundtable and be a part, and we can answer your questions or comments and bring that up on the show. So this is the part where we kind of highlight some gear, and I want to leave the best for the last.
We need segue music into that.
I know. See, at the beginning of the show,
you need a keyboard with you. Like
I need like an old Casio. Do you guys ever know that comedian? He used to do all his jokes like with the Casio keyboard. Anyway, I don't remember.
Casio Tony? No, it's Casio Tony.
No.
Casio Tony, hey.
Casio Tony. So this is the part we highlight some gear. I'm going to leave the best part for last, so Buster, we'll get to you at the very tail end.
Okay.
I'll kick this off real quick. And somebody's staring at you. So speaking of brushes, I wanted to highlight the Smythe 1250, which is a fantastic brush, dirt cheap. It's like, I think $15 on Amazon last time I looked. And once you break these things in, oh my gosh, you're in for an amazing experience.
That's a great brush.
It is a great brush. Bore brush. High loft. Once you break it in, it's awesome. And especially if you've got a harder puck of soap, like one of the triple milled.
Yeah, for mug lathering, scuttle lathering.
Another thing I got, which is a classic, and I'm also doing some tests with it, so I'm excited to be doing that. Alt Unsbruck, which is the old school. And I got this for such a great deal. Greg Schwartz, I want to say thank you for providing this at a really great cost.
Yeah.
And smells great. There has been a lot of comparisons to Alphine, which I have here. And I'm going to do a video soon on the similarities and differences. But
yeah, 2 different animals.
I do think they're different.
Yeah, they're different, but they're both great.
They are fantastic, and for different reasons. Then, lastly, I know I mentioned Soap Commander last 2 weeks in a row, I think. But I'm going to have to mention them again. I'm going to do a sample shopping video soon on would I buy this. This is on their balm. I'm not really a big balm guy. This is their Courage scent, and, man, their balms are fantastic. I don't know what they do. Normally balms make my skin feel oily or look oily or something. And that is pretty much what I've got. Let's hop on over to The Truth and see what he has in his den for today.
Okay, so this week I actually got a couple soaps piffed to me by a buddy of mine. He goes by an alias on the Facebook group, so I don't want to reveal his real name. He goes by that? Jack. Huh? Who does that? Well, he goes by Jack on the Facebook group, so I just want to thank him. And he sent me a couple soaps that I've never tried. One from a maker I've never tried. You know, Jack?
Stop banging your mic around.
Well, I'm sorry. But so first he sent me from a maker that we all know and love, and I'm already very familiar with. I got Barrister and Man La Vanille.
Oh yeah.
I've never tried this soap, and I've always been a little apprehensive because even though the scent's good, I was never sure how I feel about it. And Bear Stearns Man's not exactly cheap. It's not a $10 soap, so I've never really had the heart to buy this particular scent. But it's nice, but I have mixed feelings about it. So I'm gonna give that a try sometime this coming week. And another artisan that I've actually never tried. Holy cow! I got their Fougere Bouquet, and this is a really really nice scent. I didn't know how much I was gonna like it. It's fantastic, and I'm just thanking God that He sent me one of the tubs that doesn't have the original like cow logo on it, because it looked like a diagram of a vagina. So it was the weirdest shit I've ever
female
seen.
reproduction system.
Yeah, it looked like the map. It looked like it
David's
had
like,
the
oh my god,
fallopian.
vagina, stay away, stay away.
Did Jack
Well,
send you all this?
yes, he did. He actually sent me some other stuff that I'm actually piffing out.
Wow.
I've given away over 20 starter kits. Over 20 starter kits have been given out from
That's
all that
cool.
donation that I
That's
was
cool.
doing. So
Wow. Cool,
it's
man.
been absolutely awesome. And I actually still have like 2 random kits left over, and then I have a straight razor kit that I'm gonna actually send to my good friend that lives out in Arizona. He lives in Chandler, Arizona. He's a tattoo artist out there. He grew up in my neighborhood, so I'm gonna send that out to him, and I just continue to put them together. At all times, I have at least 2 starter kits just kind of packed up and ready to go whenever anybody kind of brings it up to me. So there's like about 3 other soaps that he sent me
Wow.
that are gonna go into kits, kind of sitting around just waiting for somebody to need it.
That's
Um,
cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's really cool. So I got the non-vagina version of Holy Cow and La Vanille, and I just look forward to using those this coming week.
Are you gonna say that on your YouTube video? The
I swear
non-vagina version?
I swear to God I will. I have no issue with that
I
whatsoever.
swear to God, your nipples are playing Wimbledon with that microphone.
Okay. So David,
Just hold it up in the air.
well, it's
going
his
on?
microphone.
Got it.
It's up on the side, so I don't know. Hey, David, is that all you got for us on your end, or?
Yes, sir. That's it. That's it. I'm tapped out. Well, I
Okay.
had one more, but you
Yeah.
said you wanted to wait for that to the end.
Yes.
So I don't want to ruin it. I'm gonna let
Yeah,
Busta
yeah.
do that one.
Alright, cool,
All
I'll
right.
ruin it.
All right. Douglas. So you're
Mute him.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Douglas, you're in your car
Yeah.
for reasons unknown in Tucson. What shaving products, by chance, do you have for us?
I have.
See, he's like Mary Poppins of shaving.
Nah.
I mean
Through
that in
the
the
fire.
best of ways. Ignite. How's
Through the Fire Fine Craft Ignite. This is something else. This actually pairs so well with Enye.
Oh, nice. Oh, man.
Oh, I might
Enya-
have to pick that up then.
Enya is
Okay,
fantastic.
check it out. So this is orange, peach, and neroli.
Oh,
That
man.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, this I've been rocking this all week with Enye, and again, I find it to be the perfect pairing. And then, so that's what I've been doing for soap. And then for my razor, I decided to give the Fasan another chance.
I love that
Because
thing.
Nico's- He's such a fan, as he proves over and over again. But this time, I didn't go for the white faux ivory Bakelite. I went for.
Is it a
This is
metal
like
one?
tribute- This is a tribute to like Rico and John Bonham. Drummers will get it.
Oh,
This is
sweet.
like
Yes.
transparent.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
That's pretty
Hey Douglas, when you stop using that, bro, when you give it a little break, I would appreciate letting me borrow that. I would love to try that.
Yeah, no doubt.
That is
So-
like the old school. I know what you're talking about. Guitar. Well, John Bonham as far as drumming, but also back in the 70s. I'm forgetting which band, but they had I forgot what the material was. What do you call that stuff? It's like plexiglass. Fiber.
Fiberglass.
Yeah, like guitar.
Called
like
Fibes, I believe. Was
Totally
the drums.
see-through.
Yeah, the drums, the shells on the drum set, I believe it was called Fibes. And they might have done drums as well. So yeah, now this one is, I don't know if it's the material it's made out of. It's not Bakelite. It's whatever this is.
Polyurethane.
It's not as harsh as the other one. I don't find it as aggressive.
Mm.
So we'll see where that goes. I've only had it for the last 3 days. I haven't used it all week. I've used the last 2 out of 3 days, and it's not bad. It's not bad. So we'll see where I might have to pull it out again next week and talk about some more.
So is
where I
that
stand
an
on
open comb and a slant, or just an open
Yes.
It's an open comb slant.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
They are awesome. They're vintage German razors. They're kind of hard to find. And
You say that, but I guarantee if you go on eBay right now, bam, there's one. They're coming out of the woodwork at this time.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they were hard to find. Maybe it's just since we started talking about them, but they were hard to find, a couple years back. But now I see them everywhere. So
I need to buy
just
more
want
of those.
clear
I
them.
love those things, man.
And
Yeah.
then I've been rocking.
What is it? Hold it up higher. Harvest Moon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nice.
This is coming out very soon.
Can you tell us
Very
the scent
soon.
profile or no?
Yeah, sure. It's a
Or do you want to describe it in a metaphorical way?
A carnival in New Mexico in 1947.
Oh,
yeah,
That is a
that's
fantastic smell, man. I love.
You're
There was a
gonna
guy.
love this then.
There was a guy. He said, "Oh wait, I know what 1946 smells like. I don't know what 47 smelled like." It was on one of the groups.
I'm an artist.
I
But,
know.
Yeah.
He thinks
But I-
really deep on these labels, guys. And if you haven't sat and stared
You
at
have
one
no
for a
idea
long
you have
time,
no idea what's going on in this. Some people will be pausing this video right now to see what's going on in here, but this is a whopper, man. This ties the whole room together.
oh man,
Yeah.
this is deep. I can already tell just from. I can just tell from the picture. There's more than meets the eye going on
This
there.
stuff keeps Rico up at night.
It really does.
It does.
I'm excited.
Chicago, I think we talked about Chicago till like 2 in the morning one time. He
Yeah,
had all
it was-
the labels figured out.
No,
Or
I'm
he was-
still.
he was on
I've
route.
only got one or two figured out. I don't. I
I
still need
confuse all you white guys.
to. So, Busta,
Uh-huh.
what do you got for us today that you'd like to highlight?
I got a couple things.
Yes.
So this brush, this is a cool brush. This is it was sent to me by Shave Works, and it's got an uber soft knot, and it's a good knot. But man, look at that handle. That is a really unique handle.
Is it wood?
No, it's some kind of like it's resin.
Acrylic?
It's acrylic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's acrylic. But I'm sure they turned it by hand, but I mean that's just totally different, and it actually worked really well because you can put it like this, and it just like it's easy to hold. But I really like this brush. So
It's awesome.
It's very
that's
Art
really-
Deco.
yeah, well,
I
and
want to
it-
get one of these brush makers on the show and making one in front of us. I want
Oh,
to see how
that
that's
would
done.
that would be really cool.
That would
And
be awesome.
you know what's funny that I learned, and it was off their Facebook page or whatever. There's actually Facebook groups for brush makers where they get together and talk about how to
Yeah.
make different types of brushes. So these guys are fairly new. I don't know if how long they've been around, but if you go to their Etsy store, they have all kinds of cool handles. Like
Who
stuff
is
that
it?
I
They
never
just
made.
I'm sorry for the interrupt, Buster, but they just actually launched their Shave Works this past week.
Yeah, so it's Cave Shave Works. I think it's caveshaveworks.com, and it goes to their Etsy store.
Oh,
But
wow.
like all their brushes are like unique handles. Like I think I saw Tiffany Cosma got one, and it's like it's kind of weird looking hers, but still it's cool. I mean they're all just like totally different. So obviously the knot's good. So I thought it was awesome.
Who is Shave Works?
It's these two. It's Kelly and Kevin Doherty.
Oh, it's
So
Kelly.
I-
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
saw
I
the
think
announcement.
they're. I think I don't know, like everybody else, they're like, hey, let's try getting into the shave world. So, no,
Let's do the same. Let's oversaturate the shave world even more.
yeah. But honestly, I mean, if like me, I love brushes, so it was very cool for them to do that, and I like it a
I
lot.
love that one. That one.
Yeah, it's a
Do
very
they have
cool
more?
brush.
Do they have more like that one?
They have a lot like that one, so I would just go on the
Nice.
site. They're all looking like similar to that. The other thing is this razor, Mercur 39C. Honestly, I used to hate the slant razor from Mercur, and
Yes.
I had the 37C, and I don't know, I always got irritation and who knows what else. But I bought this one just because I was like, I'll give it a shot. And maybe it's just because it's so much heavier and got a longer handle, but I don't overdo it, and so it works. It's really good.
Oh.
So I don't know. I mean, for a long time I was like, oh, these slant razors suck, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier. And I honestly appreciate that people like what I say on my channel and like listen to what I'm talking about. But just so everybody knows, my mind gets changed too. So it doesn't mean that if I say a razor's bad today, I'm always going to say it's bad. Although derby blades will always be bad.
What? What'd you say?
I said derby blades will always be
He's
bad.
gonna put his foot down.
No,
Simon.
I wasn't paying attention. What'd you say? You said No, I'm messing with you.
Uh,
You said you're glad people listen to you, and I
I'm
was just
glad
messing.
people listen because people do. I mean, I get a
I
lot
get
of
it.
comments about, hey, I thank you for telling me about this, but I just want people to know my mind gets changed all the time. So,
Yeah.
so the last thing is
And this is the big one. See, this
this
is
is the
what I
big
thought
one.
Douglas was teasing. I thought Douglas was saying this earlier when he
It's
said,
strange the
I,
correlation between these two things, like
yeah,
Simon Kamaj's wedding and this particular
we, I
product,
thought this,
how
yeah, I thought this
similar they
happened a
are.
long time ago, like guacamole scent or
Yeah,
something. What is it?
guacamole scent.
I don't know. Cilantro mojito.
It is Busta's
Guacamole.
blend.
That's racist. That's just
Busta's
racist.
blend. I
Hallelujah.
finally got a soap. And you know, I joke all the time about I wanted a soap, but I really did want a soap. So it's pretty cool. It's Tim's soap, and you know what? The cool thing about Tim is I had no idea that he was a soap maker at the beginning because he didn't make it and sell it permanently. He made this soap called Greek Peach on Razor and Brush, and I remember just seeing Shave of the Day pictures all the time of it, but you couldn't actually buy it because it was only like a limited edition. And finally, he released it again, and now he's making permanent soaps. But they're good soaps. They're really good soaps, and we spent probably about a
They're
month to a
great.
month and a half putting it together. So it's lemon, cedar. It's got some actual lemongrass, and then it's got a little bit of other things in it. But I don't know. It came out awesome. Like to me, it's a lemon scent. I love citrus, but it's also got a little bit of wood. And I don't know, man. I'm super happy. And oh, the best thing, it's got menthol. It does. It's got menthol. So like after you're shaving with it, especially after the first pass, you're like, whoo, it gets nice and cool. So I don't
Nice.
know.
Nice, nice.
I'm super happy about it, and I don't know. That's my thing.
Nice. I'm excited because
Awesome.
I ordered one. I ordered a couple actually for reasons. Is this limited edition or is this like forever?
I think it depends on how well it sells.
Okay.
Is it an exclusive to just Tim, or can I stock up on some as well? And have like my picture with you holding it.
Come on.
Actually, I want to get a cutout of Busta, like just for the shop.
So here's
I'm
the thing.
serious.
That would be awesome.
Signed. I want you to sign each one.
No,
of them
this
too.
is definitely Tim's soap, and on his site he says it's an unlimited release, which means he'll make it until people don't buy it.
Okay.
Which
Tell
you
people
know,
are sick of it.
well, and it could be that
Damn, next week it's gonna stop
Yeah,
being an
it's gonna stop
introduction.
selling.
Jesus Christ.
So speaking of it selling or not, David, you have it. How is it?
I absolutely love the scent. Citrus scents are
Are
very
you just
well.
saying that? Because you
Oh
love
no,
Busta?
I would tell Busta privately that it was trash if it was trash. Thank God I don't have to do that. I would do it, but I'm actually grateful that I don't have to.
Yeah.
But no, it's just something that I haven't seen on the market yet. When it comes to citrus scents, you get a lot of lime. Lime is very well represented in the whole citrus category of shave soaps. Pretty much every maker, every artisan, and even all major brands has some sort of lime scent. This is an absolutely true representation of lemon. It's a very clear, definitive difference between the two. And when you add the herbs, you add the cedar wood and the menthol, somehow it comes together to give it a more natural and like lemon zest tinge to it. Like it doesn't just smell like sweet lemon heads. It's just nice, man. I really really enjoy the scent. Very hell of a job by Buster and Tim.
Yeah.
It's just different. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah, and I have to give all the props to Tim. 'Cause all I did was tell him if I liked it or not. I
Nice.
mean, he sent me like 20 samples of scents, and I went through all of them, told what I like. Then he sent me 3 samples of soaps. In fact, I have one of the prototypes here. He sent me 3 different actual prototypes of soaps after I picked out the scents I wanted, different levels of menthol. And you know, he did all the work. Obviously, I really helped figure out what I wanted it to smell like and how I wanted it to feel. But after that, I mean, Tim's awesome. He's a cool
Nice.
guy, and the whole time he was just super nice. And honestly, so many great soap makers in the soap world, especially the artisans. I'd be happy to have my name on any soap, but the fact that Tim did it for me is really cool.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, congrats on your soap, my friend. That's super exciting. I loved. It seemed like back in the day, maybe about a year ago, there was like a lot of these kind of tribute signature soaps, which I find really cool. I know there was some flack from the certain mean people
Yeah.
out in the community that were giving some of the artisans flack for making signature soaps or making scents that
Which
smell
is
like other things, which
which
is
is such a stupid ass argument, dude. Because just really
yes,
people just fucking hating. Everybody always want to pull that. Oh, you're honoring the elitist card. That makes me fucking sick. If you're so fucking insecure about somebody getting a soap dedicated to them,
yeah.
man, you should fucking just end your life, man. Because it's fucking shaving and you're fucking that miserable over somebody getting a soap named out of them. You're a fucking horrible person and you're lacking in life, dude. Like, shit. Like, I could name like a few people right now off the top of my head that are those miserable people.
Please
Let's not do it. Let's not do it.
no.
Yeah, I don't want to start some fucking chaos, but it just makes me fucking sick that there's people that have an objection to it, dude. Like, I would love a soap named after me. I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't make me upset whatsoever that Busta has it and Chris Bailey. I'm happy with my personal life. My wife makes me happy. My kids make me happy. My day-to-day life makes me happy enough that I can continue on.
Yeah.
But these fucking people make it seem like they're gonna fucking kill themselves because it's not fair that they get a soap. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, David. No.
Yeah.
So, if you guys didn't notice, all you guys out there watching, we have our favorite Australian from down under who has just
Oh,
hopped on. You see what I did there? Hopped on.
Where is he?
Anthony Macker's on the
Kangaroo.
show?
No.
The
Gone.
Oh, sorry.
Bee Gees are on the show.
I know you're there. I hope you're there. We'll give him a few moments. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey guys, how you going?
We're not getting.
I
Hello.
don't see him.
Wow,
I
back
didn't
from
know
the dead, Comcast and Zetas. That's right, baby.
How you doing?
Hey.
We're doing well. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you. I don't know if I can see. Can I see you guys? Yeah, I can see you guys. Can you see
You
me?
can see us. We can't
No,
see
we can't
you at
see
the
you.
moment.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll try and come back. I'll get out of this and I'll come back again. Hang on.
All right. While you're doing
Just
that, I'm going.
speak amongst yourselves and allow David to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
We're
So
paying
we'll do
you.
That's what I seem to do. You know, I just kind of just
He's like,
score them in there and just keep the momentum going on this show. Because
That's
sometimes we
it,
just
my
have
friend.
dead
Keep
periods.
doing it.
Yeah.
saying
So-
that F word to fill in the gap.
Yes. So, really, question for you, Busta. Actually, we have a question from Steve Davidson. He's asking, what is your thought on the new Crown King synthetic brush?
I think they're awesome, honestly. I have a couple of them actually.
It's a hell of a question with me on the show. And
No, but seriously, like this
Well, I
one's
was pretty sure he's gonna like it. I like the brush.
This was probably my favorite. I don't know why. I mean, it's
That's
one of it's got the wooden handle, but like I love the handle. And for me, for synthetics, it's all about the loft and the splay. And this just is like almost perfect. So I like them all. I prefer the soft ones to the hard ones, but the hard ones are good too. But this one's probably my favorite. But you know what? I mean, how can you go wrong? I forget what this costs, but for the price, it's amazing.
$20.
Yeah, $20.
I am still boycotting the Crown King brushes
Why?
for reasons that I have discussed with Douglas. He's a bastard.
I
So I
forgot to
decided to
stick with your
boycott the
last order
brushes.
again.
I asked him to let me be one of the first to review the brushes, and I didn't ask for a free brush. I said I'll pay for the damn thing.
Oh.
And he totally just ignored me, and all of a sudden I seen like 30
See?
people with a
I
brush,
hope
so
the
my
haters
feelings
watching
are hurt.
Right now. I don't seek out reviews, people. I don't give free stuff away for reviews. I see.
Oh, exactly. That's what I said. That's why I said I would. That's why I said I would pay for it. I know you don't do
I
things for free
sabotage
for reviews.
myself.
I
sabotage myself.
offered to give an honest review and with my own money, and you just ignored me. So my feelings are hurt. I might be scarred for life because of that.
I really doubt that. So, guys, just so you know,
That statement was paid for by Crown King.
Yes, this segment of this episode is totally sponsored by Crown King Shaving Products. Fine.
Yeah.
Shaving
That's
Products.
CrownKingShaving.com.
That's right.
Folks, David, I'll get one out to you. I mean, I'm going to see you in a couple weeks now. I mean, I wanted to give it to you in person. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Slip you some money, you know?
You slippery devil, you slippery devil. Don't try to play your tricks on me.
All right. So now let's hop on.
There's no such thing as the devil.
Well, that could be debatable. Who knows? Let's hop on over to
Speaking of the devil.
No.
Voltaire.
Kazazitas, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you, folks. Hopefully we've ironed out all these technical difficulties here, but
We
it's
hope
nice to be
so.
with you. I thought I would just pop on and say hello, and allow me to begin by saying congratulations, Michael. Yeah, I think it's a great honour to have anything, including a deodorant, named after you.
Thank you.
Douglas was
That's
Douglas
I'm
was
on
always threatening. Douglas was always threatening to have you make you your own signature deodorant.
Yeah.
Now it appears
It's
that you
not a
have your
threat.
own soap, and I'm very happy for you.
Well, I thank you so much. It was really cool, and I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
Con.
there's not much you can say about that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without sounding conceited, of course.
Yeah. I want to thank the Academy. Everybody who voted for me.
They like me. They really like me.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
all the filmmakers who didn't make me one, screw you.
Oh, come on.
I'm
Oh,
just
boy.
joking.
We've met you in person. Tim
I
has.
know,
Yeah.
right?
We know where you live.
Yeah.
So, Con, what have you been up to? And I know there was a few things you wanted to talk about.
Well, I've just been I've fallen off the radar a little bit, which is probably a relief for, I would imagine, a large number of people. But people have been asking what the deal is. Where am I? Am I on assignment somewhere? No, I've just been very, very busy setting up a new studio, a new podcast studio where I am currently. So a lot of the cutting edge Wet Shave podcast will be done from here from now on. I've just moved
And from
operations
here.
out of my and that's right. I've moved operations out of my home. I've reclaimed the lounge room. I've reclaimed the kitchen. I've reclaimed the dining room, and now I'm just kind of moved into a little more organised setting, if you like. So I've been very busy with that. Also been working on a couple of exciting concepts in terms of Shave the Man videos. So there's I've been building a little studio and all the rest of it.
Very cool.
Take this stuff seriously. Similar to the setup that you see behind Buster there, although I know that he's at work. So
Yeah.
but it's so it's been very exciting. I'm not ignoring people. I'm not and although I may ignore some, I'm not deliberately ignoring.
I'm totally hurt. I've been hurt.
It's Con's
Been
rock
hurt.
and roll lifestyle.
Well, it's funny.
Really.
It really is.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, he really is. Have you seen that movie Hitman? It's based off of a video game. That video game is actually based off of real life scenarios about a guy in Australia. But I can't say any more than that because I might not be on the show next week. So there we go.
It was really funny. Douglas had said a couple of weeks ago, he says, "Are you ignoring me?" And I ignored that comment.
He did.
That's good. That's good.
He still
because I wanted, because I knew
Notice that wasn't even
because I knew that
directly-
only he would get the shtick. He would get it. Anyway, I don't want to tire you too much. I just want to go through very quickly what I have been really enjoying over the last couple of weeks. Firstly, the Magnus brush. This skull brush is absolutely fantastic. I saw pictures of this, and I keep seeing them in people's shaves of the day. You cannot appreciate, and we say this time and time again, you cannot appreciate a product unless you have it in your hands. This is remarkable. It is so soft. It works well. It's not synthetic. So I caught a little bit of the conversation between synths and natural fiber. This is a phenomenal brush with phenomenal workmanship, and Magnus has done a phenomenal job. See, I used phenomenal 3 times. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Really cool.
That's high pH.
That's one product. Yeah. Another product that I would urge you to check out is something that's readily available in L'Occitane stores, and that's Cedra, which is wonderful. This is
their new stuff, and it's awesome.
Yeah. It's really good. It's a kind of a citrusy thing. I know that David likes citrus. This is something that I'm sure will appeal to him. Buster also likes his citruses. I know that as well. I feel like I know all of you guys. This is really cool. It's a wonderful product. It's kind of an aftershave. It's a balm/gel. It's more gel in its consistency. If you like citrus, you will absolutely adore this. And finally, if you'll allow me to indulge you with this, as you know, I've been using the Midnight Dreary quite a bit, and I have found something which pairs rather nicely with it in terms of an EDT or EDP in this case, but also, in my opinion, is one of the greatest scents available at the moment, and that is Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. I don't know if you can see
really?
that.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. This is Spice Bombs. This is Spice Bomb on anabolic steroids.
Yes.
Right?
Hey, just Con, after you're done explaining that, I have a question for you. So just whenever you're done explaining that clone specifically.
Yeah, no worries, my friend. This is an EDP, so you're going to get quite a decent amount of longevity. You read on the forums that some guys only get 2 hours out of it. I have managed to get about 6 hours out of it, and it is phenomenal. It does pair well with Chris Cullen's Midnight Dreary, but there are other things going on. There's beautiful rose in there, and there's notes which ordinarily I would probably avoid, but they seem to work well, and that's the magic of working with fragrances and with scents.
Isn't there a note, and I might be pronouncing it wrong, Kofi?
Yeah, kulfi, which is an Indian. It's actually an Indian dessert. It's an Indian kulfi dessert. So those of you that frequent Indian restaurants, and I know that Douglas does from time to time, it's a delicacy in India. This kulfi, rather sweet, beautiful delicacy. Yeah,
Mama put the wine.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon? Don't be dirty, please.
Nothing.
So you've got things like rose absolute in it, jasmine, orange blossom. There's amber in here. If you're a fan of amber, as I am, then this goes very well. This also, incidentally, goes well with PAA's amber, if it's still available. That is. Is PAA still doing amber?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Very, very nice. Yeah.
Fantastic, man.
David, have a question?
Yes, I had a question. Now, it's very common in a lot of scents and fragrances. You hear the term noir, the N-O-I-R.
Yeah.
What exactly is noir? I have no idea. And what is that?
That's a good question.
That is a great question.
Noir is it's a French word, firstly. It actually was used, it was a cinematic term in many ways, which looked at describing,
dark mystery.
It's a sort of a dark, mysterious, it means darkness, obviously, but it's, in this case, this is because Tom Ford does a number of expressions of his fragrances, and in this case, this has a very, very dark note. So I think it's a nod to that sort of deep, dark, mysterious scent profile that comes through.
Yes. So, Con,
yes,
if you wouldn't mind possibly entertaining some of our folks out there, we have a request. Could you give the folks out there a dirty for old time's sake?
Those times aren't over.
Okay. You want to know what this? You want to know what this scent is?
Yes. What is?
It's dirty. It's real dirty. In fact, it's filthy. It stinks.
Hey, Con.
Yeah.
Speaking of dirty and stinky, Simon is getting married today.
Yes, I know. Yeah, and they don't come any dirtier than Simon.
I also want to say to the listening audience out there, just to cut everyone off, I'm thinking of not next week, but the week after, all of us in our shave stations shaving, and we'll take questions on whatever technique, style, scent, whatever people want. I think it'd be really interesting to just demonstrate, like maybe a J hook, or demonstrate whatever the frog or the what's up, or just different techniques for shavers out there that may or may not know these, or may have heard of them but not know how they're done. So I just wanted to put that out there for our listening audience right now to spread the word, or just to keep you coming back. So I think that's going to be an interesting show.
Yeah,
actually, I know it's going to be.
Yes. So as always, guys, if you're out there in the Twitter world and on YouTube checking us out, you can tweet us at WS Roundtable. Or you can click the link and hit join the conversation and ask us questions there. And speaking of, what do you got, Con?
Can I just say,
yes,
just to speak further and to extrapolate further on David's question, which is actually a very good question.
Yes.
If you're wondering about noir, I think David's soap, Santalum Fumus, could also be called Santal Noir, because there is a deep, sort of dark, smoky note to it, and I think that it could quite easily have been called, or maybe Douglas can work on Santal Fumus Noir, which would
There you
make
go.
it
We
even
have
darker.
another
How about
marketing
how
tool
about
there,
Centella?
baby. That's right. More money, baby. We're gonna be using that shit. We're rebranding. Everybody that has the old Santalum Fumas label, we're gonna have to come out and get the Santalum Noir scent.
You've created a monster.
Yeah, and his humility is bowling me over. I love
Yes.
it.
And speaking of, another kind of answer to that question on like with fragrances, when they go say extreme and noir,
Yeah.
especially extreme. Extreme is like a weird misnomer in the frag world because they use it, and what the public thinks it's going to be is never what it is. If it's like Tom Ford's something extreme, and you're going to think, well, it's going to be a more powerful, heavier scent. No, it's going to be something like fresh and fruity or something totally different than whatever the original was. Why they do that, I don't know. It's something that's...
I suspect that the notes that appear in, say, the regular version, if you were to up the ante and increase the amount of aromatics in the fragrance, you may get some conflict between fragrances. You see, at a certain, it's all about ratios. Douglas will tell you this. It's all about ratios. It's about getting the mix right, getting the balance right. When you're looking at an extreme version or an EDP as opposed to an EDT, and recently I sampled some Eau Sauvage by Christian Dior, and I tried their Eau Sauvage EDP. Now this is meant to be this thing on steroids. It smelt nothing like it.
Yep.
It is a totally different expression. So don't think that because something is called extreme, or something is the EDP version is a version that's stronger and it lasts longer. It has a totally different scent profile.
Yes, I totally agree. So let's jump on over to the Twitter world because we actually do have quite a few questions that people are burning to know the answers to.
I'm seeing myself, and I look like a Russian spy from 1982 transmitting somewhere in America.
You are a Russian spy. Oh, crap, I wasn't supposed to say that.
You're not supposed to let that out.
So, shout out to Marty out there. He made a post on Twitter, and you guys can follow us at WS Roundtable on Twitter as the show's live as well, and just check out what people are saying. And he said, here are my product spotlights for the week, and I'm assuming it's some kind of football something. I don't know what it is. It's not very clear, so that's Marty's thing.
I was just waiting for him to pull up next to me. He's in Tucson.
Is he supposed to pull up next to you and do a deal?
No.
A soap deal?
Yeah, exactly.
So we have a question by Warren.
Because this already doesn't look sketchy enough.
We have a question from Warren Jones. He says, great show, guys. What's the worst product you've ever used? And he said, for me, as an example, is Geo F. Trumper's soap. All the best was. So I know right off the bat for me, this was I don't know what you want to call it, soap maker in Colorado, and it was a very small town. I don't remember what town it is, Manitou Springs. And the company was called Salis, and they made fantastic soaps. It was geared more towards women, and they had a soap that was $5, and it said shaving soap, and I go, this might be a mistake.
It has clay in it.
Yes, and it had clay in it, and I couldn't get it to lather. It was awful. It didn't even work well as a body bar soap. It just disintegrated in the shower. And I emailed them actually and told them, hey, this is not quality shaving soap. And the way I phrased it was very respectful and stuff. And they responded and said, hey, well, if you have any ideas, we're reformulating that. That's why you can't find it on the website. And then I never heard back from them. So I don't know if they ever reformulated and took the clay out or what, but it was slick.
Clay would have been fine if it was a hot process. I'm guessing it was a cold process. So a lot of newbie soap makers, or soap makers that don't participate in the shaving world, don't realize that you really can't do a cold process shave soap. It's close to impossible. So when they start crossing the line, crossing over, people say, hey, can you make a shave soap? They do a little bit of research in the forums. And at least when I was doing research back in the day, I mean, stuff has changed now. There are recipes out there. But they just read about clay, and so they add clay. And they think that automatically turns the body soap into a shave soap.
It was awful. It was super slick, ridiculously slick, no cushion at all. So Yeah, it was the most uncomfortable thing I've used
I'm
ever.
up in the air. I'm up in the air with clay to begin with. I don't, and I think a lot of the jury's out. There's no science, real science behind clay adding to a shave, adding slickness to a shave at
Yeah.
all. I mean, people always talk about, yeah, well, these 3-ton drills in Texas, they use the mud and it's like, yeah, that's a 3-ton drill in Texas. It's not happening on my face at this speed. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, I suspect it dulls the blades.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Go on,
No,
Rico.
no, you're great. Was the worst for me, and so I'm sorry, Salas, for naming you, but stick with just regular soap. The shaving stuff, unless you can totally reformulate to something else. But it was awful. It was bad. Busta.
Well,
What?
the worst for me are probably this soap. Busta's Blend. It's a bunch of, I mean, seriously, it smells too good. It smells so good that it's bad. I mean,
I got a signed one.
It hurts so good it's bad.
It hurts so good that it's the worst I've ever had.
Wow.
No, actually, I'd say I have to agree with him. I had a Rose Trumper's puck of soap, and I couldn't get that thing to lather to save my life. So I've heard that depending on the batch you get, but no, even I don't know. I tried everything, and it was almost like I was lathering on like regular.
No, you're right. The batches do seem to change now that you mention it.
Yeah, so I've heard like at one point they were making pretty poor batches and then they've reformulated. I don't know, but I could see. Here's the thing: I'm gonna get that puck, I'm gonna use it, and I'm not gonna ever try it again. And that's their fault because odds are they might improve it or make it better. But it really turned me off to the soaps at least.
Yeah. So David, what do you got?
This is actually a very easy one for me. Mystic Waters shave soap. It was the absolutely worst thing I've ever freaking tried. That and Erasmic shave stick. Those two soaps were absolutely horrible.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
I love David. He's like Mystic Waters shave soap.
It was bad, dude. Like, anybody that sees my videos knows that I usually have pretty good results lathering the soap. It's very rare that I have any issue with it. Even with my hard water, I don't have an issue lathering soaps typically. Those two soaps, Erasmic Shave Stick and Mystic Waters, man, those were bad. And I tried everything, dude. I was using board brushes, synthetic brushes, badger brushes. I've never gone to any kind of trouble to lather a soap like these soaps, and they were trash.
Yeah. Douglas, what do you got?
Yeah, I feel like I answer this question every other week. Urban Cowboy. Urban Cowboy just sucks. Burt's Bay Rum, they made a matching shave soap with this. This is going back probably 15 years now. That sucked. Because, again, these are cold process. I don't know what the process is. I'm guessing they're cold, but they're not. I don't know why health food stores, they just don't get this part right when it comes to shaving.
Somebody asked this, and I know you answered this.
And now it's Badger.
Yeah, well, the Badger stuff. How is that stuff?
I'm sorry?
The Badger stuff. That's what I was about to ask you. Have you tried it?
That's the new one in there. I don't know why they keep letting this stuff in. Oh, I do know why. For everything that health food stores preach, save the planet, this, and the other thing, they still sell cartridge razors, but they're made out of recycled plastic. It's like, guys, it's like it's like those Armstrong bracelets that everyone wore, those yellow ones, that would raise money to save the world from cancer. The process it takes to make those bracelets was releasing chemicals into the atmosphere that cause cancer. So it's like the same thing when it comes to health food stores. They're still selling these cartridges. They're just not on top of their game here. And that's the problem with being like a mile long and an inch thick, which a lot of these health food stores are. Once we get some DEs in there, we'll see a shift for soap because we'll have guys like us going in there saying, no, this stuff doesn't really work. I don't know who your audience is right now, but it doesn't work. So I'm trying to change that.
Nice.
So those three soaps.
That would be cool, kind of cool to see your stuff like in like my local health food store. That'd be sweet.
You can help us make it happen.
Bring their stuff to Aikens. I don't know if you know about Aikens. I don't know if that's just a local thing or not. Anyway, Con, how about you? I know this is a tricky question because it kind of puts us on the spot to say this particular soap, but
well, I'm glad you came to me last because I was just making some notes on this as you gentlemen were speaking about it, and this is something that we hear from time to time. Now, I often wonder about the nature of this question. Are we asking to say, look, this is the worst product, it stinks, I don't like it, or is there something? I would rather look at the process involved in coming to that conclusion. And the thing that I've come to the conclusion is that when you say this about a product, there are three elements that you look at. Firstly, it's making distinctions and saying, okay, this is better than that because of this. The second thing is expectations and perceived performance. And the third thing is whether the product is consistently bad or whether it's sometimes bad and other times it's not so bad. So if something is consistently bad, then it will only have a very limited life in the shave world. Okay, people are not going to stop buying it, and they'll either have to change the formulation or they'll have to do something to make amends. The other one is where somebody says, and the classic here is the Mitchell's wool fat. Okay, people say, "Oh, I love Mitchell's wool fat. Oh, I can't get it to lather." Now that's about making distinctions and saying, right, what is it you're doing? Why do you think that it's, that you aren't getting it to lather? Do you live in an area where there's hard water? Are you in an area where there's soft water? And of course, then there are expectations and perceived. So if I'm told that, say, Trumpers Eucre is a difficult soap, that has already been planted in my mind. And when I come to the soap, I'm going to think, hang on, I know this thing doesn't lather. I've tried like the rose thing. I've tried it. It doesn't lather. It's not going to be any good. And that's why I think there's always this that we constantly refer to batches as well. These go through very, very large. There's a production line. There are batch variations. There are things that happen differently. Sometimes during the manufacturing process, you could have things that are inconsistent. So rather than naming a product, I often wondered, what do we really mean when we say what's the worst product you've ever, like this week it could have been, I don't know, Arco, even though I've never had problems with Arco, but it was, oh yeah, I hate Arco, I don't like the smell. That doesn't make it the worst product.
Yeah.
The
Because
three
you
I
don't like
named will
the
always
scent
remain the worst products.
What'd you say?
What was that, sorry?
The three I named will always remain the worst products.
Yeah.
There's no help.
I guess it's that old dictum, learn before you burn. Work with the product, stay with the product. What works for you may not work for others, and there's all sorts of reasons, both environmental, experiential, all sorts of things. And I think naming a product then places in the minds of those that hear the response, oh, well, I'm not going to. Well, why is it that you're not going to get it? Give it a go.
Yeah.
It may work for you, or it may
User
be a different.
error User error is huge.
It is huge. It is.
Hold on, no.
No,
Mystic Waters should never be used by anybody on the planet. That should be eradicated from the earth. That's just my opinion, of course, but
I do think
yes.
kind of what Con was saying, though, and what you're touching on, Douglas, I think part of it, though, is there are, like you said earlier, there's soap makers, and they make soap. They make wonderful soap. And I'm talking about just general bath soap, make you feel good, bath bombs, that kind of stuff. Then they see wet shaving's a thing. So they want to jump on this, I don't know what you want to call it, bandwagon or whatever. So they go online and they do some research and they say, hey, this is a recipe on how to make shaving soap. They don't find out if it's a good recipe. They just make it and then they sell it and say, hey, it's shaving soap. Now, I'm talking about like Salis, like I'm saying, I'm specifically naming them, it was awful soap. If I was to compare it to all the other artisan stuff I've used, you could not lather it. There was no lather. I mean, you had to kind of rub it on, but there was no cushion, nothing. It was awful.
Yeah, and you know what? They probably have the same audience as most of these health food store shave soaps did. Because I will tell you something. Urban Cowboy, I used that for years. I didn't realize how much it sucked because I wasn't like, I didn't know what I was looking for until I tried a real shaving soap and was like, damn, like this is what. And so I think that's what Con's getting at too. So we are, to a certain extent, some may look at us as snobs.
Yes.
That's right, gentlemen. We are snobs. I mean, if you were getting by with your crappy puck of Urban Cowboy for years and didn't know it and weren't complaining about it because you didn't know of anything, but ignorance is bliss in this sense, who are we to judge you?
Yeah.
So.
And Jeff Atkinson.
Next question.
He just.
I think what Busta was saying, with what Busta wanted to like the rose, the Trumpers rose, and he gave it a go, and he really wanted to get he was saying, I want to burn this thing, I want to make sure that I'm getting it right, and he wanted to like it. Now that's based on distinctions that he's made in the past. his level of experience. He knows that Trump has made good soaps in the past. See, quite often there's a bean counter that makes a decision somewhere and says, we can't afford this ingredient in our manufacturing process. Can we substitute it for something cheaper, or can we change the formulation and improve our bottom line?
Yeah.
And if they've done
Or
that,
they go through the motions. They go through the motions of sending it out to testers, but they don't take the testers' words into consideration because they already bought the formula. They've already bought all the ingredients. They're not going to change anything, but they're just going through the motions because as a big company, they have to send out to testers to say they send out to testers. But I know Badger sent out to Mantic because they also sent him the mustache wax to test, and he sent it to me to test, and it sucked. It did not hold up my stash, didn't hold together. But you know what? Did that make a difference? My opinion, not at all. The guy who owns the blog How to Grow a Mustache, his opinion means nothing when it comes to mustache wax, apparently. So I go to the store. It's the same formula I tested. It doesn't work. They're selling it, though, and people are buying it. They don't realize it. It's amazing. But the same thing with the soap. It's like I know people complain. Mantic wasn't the only one. There was other testers out there, too, that just didn't like it. But, you know, it's just they didn't listen. They don't care. They're still making money off it.
Yeah. Jeff Atkinson made a comment here. He said, I did exactly the thing Con is talking about with the veg, and now it's on its way to me. Thank you, Jeff. I don't know if I should feel blessed or not with the veg coming my way. I actually didn't like it initially. I smelled it, but I'm going to spend some actual quality time with it. I'm going to, like today, I'm actually trying out some scents, and I sprayed some cards, and I hang on to it and see what the scent actually does, which is a good tip that I got from my good friend Douglas Smythe, sitting in Tucson, Arizona. So,
hey guys, I actually have a quick question. I'm sorry, this is a little off topic, but
no, go for it,
I
man.
just realized and I forgot. I lost my case for my alum.
Uh-oh.
Is this a problem to leave it just out? Do I have to have it in a case? Because I don't know where.
It's better to leave it out.
Where that shit's at.
It's better to leave it out, and it's better to leave it out and leave it on a tilt, David. If you have a soap dish, rest it like on an angle up there, so there's more circulation around the aluminum. Don't lay it down flat in a soap dish. Don't lay it down on the side of the soap. Lay it on an angle so there's very little touching the surface, so just this air circulates around it and it won't pit and it'll last forever. And thinking about pitting too, the more you use the aluminum, if you use the aluminum every day, you won't see a problem, especially if you're drying it the way I'm saying to dry it. Otherwise, with lower-priced aluminum, it has a higher percentage rate of pitting or dissolving even if you just let it sit in a soap dish or whatnot. I also leave it on a sponge too, but I think leaving it on an angle, being on off a soap dish or on the base plate of your faucet is it just works. I don't know why. It's just air circulation around it.
And speaking of alum,
don't use it. So that said, don't put it in the case. Leave the case unless you're traveling. It doesn't need to go in that case.
Yeah, awesome. Good
tip.
Well,
I lost that shit anyway, so it's not like I have the option to even put it in the case.
So speaking of alum, I actually did buy some of Douglas's stuff that has the rubber band on it, which is cool for holding. But I actually don't use the rubber band, which is kind of sad on my part, I guess, but I like to just take the whole thing and rub it on my face. And for whatever reason, your alum is super smooth. Like
Thank you.
It's very nice, very nice.
Why don't you use the band though?
Because I'm too cocky that I'm not gonna drop it.
Yeah, people think it's a silly idea, but it's not.
No, it's not.
Like I don't use a cell phone case because
yeah,
and that's a mistake. So, Busta, we do have a quick question for you over in Twitter. A gentleman's asking, question for Busta, and he's going by ABG. So, ABG, we're answering your question right now. Busta, have any of your acquisition disorders stabilized, or are they getting worse?
I go in cycles. It just depends. I mean, like, there'll be times where I don't want to buy anything, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to use what I have, and I'm going to be happy with what I have. And then you see something. It's always one thing that you see. And you're like, oh, I've got to have that brush, or I've got to have that soap. And then what happens is it turns into your acquisition disorder again. It's like any other addiction. You can go off it, but as soon as you start again, you want more.
So, look at this.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop it.
That's what
Stop it, Douglas.
I blame Douglas for a lot of it.
He is an enabler. He is the worst.
In fact, on Facebook, it says sponsored for Busta. And then, like, oh, I have to buy that.
Yes.
But honestly,
I'm just going to start dedicating everything.
Yeah, I'd say if you're in this and you enjoy buying wet shave gear until you're broke, you're gonna keep buying wet shave gear. So
Yeah, totally.
Well, the thing is, you justify it though. You're like, oh, I can always sell this. You know, like I was buying like so much vintage stuff for a while. And I was like, whatever, I'm gonna start selling on Etsy. I'm gonna open up an Etsy store.
yeah.
That never happens.
Yeah.
Really.
The one thing I have noticed is on the buy-sell trade, it seems like it's a lot harder to sell stuff now. So I think everybody's kind of in that low phase, especially since the holidays are coming up. They're probably like,
Yeah.
I can't be buying so much stuff.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
exactly.
people, save your receipts. You might be able to write this off, especially if you're a YouTuber reviewing stuff. You might be able to write this stuff off at the end of the
That's a
year.
great
so just
idea.
keep that in mind. Yeah.
Can I just
an entire
say something?
podcast dedicated to that.
Mm.
Listens.
And a lot of people may not know this, and of course Buster wouldn't say this himself, but Buster buys a lot of gear, but he gives a lot of it away.
Yes.
He is one of the most generous. He is one of the most generous
Or
men
he
I have
returns it.
ever met in this community. He's
Absolutely.
one of the most generous. And
Absolutely.
the amount of stuff that he gives away, the number of people that he helps behind the scenes, the humility of this guy.
Yeah.
I know this is sounding soppy. I know it's cliche. I don't care. I'm going to say it. He is a man who is just steeped in generosity, and I congratulate you for that, my friend.
Absolutely. Just to add to that, when I was collecting for all the starter kits, I was gonna do like a dedicated video to everybody that donated, but I got so many donations that I couldn't keep track of everybody that gave me stuff to give away. So I didn't do it because I felt bad leaving people out. But just specifically Busta, he gave so many brand new soaps. He gave so many high-end brushes. And I gave the high-end brushes to my favorite football players. And yes, coaches have favorites, even though they say they don't. Yes, we do have favorites. So some of my favorite kids have those brushes, and they may never know what it is to have a bad brush. They didn't have to deal with the Escali. Two kids have Savile Rose. One kid has
wow, man.
Fader 2 band. Like, Busta's as generous as it gets, and he never asked for anything in return. He just did it because, hey, they weren't getting used in his den, and he knew what I was doing.
And one other
didn't know
thing.
what
He
you
just
were
decided
doing.
to
When
throw
did
it
this
out there,
happen?
man.
One other
This
thing. I've heard this. What's Buster using this week? You know, he's changed again. That's because he's given it all away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If Buster's if he's using bore brushes this week, you can be assured that's because he's given all these synthetics to other people, or
Yeah.
he's given his badge. He is generous. Okay. I know he doesn't want to. He's not going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'll say it for you. I've met him on a number of occasions, and I love the guy.
Well,
Yes.
Thanks so
And-
much.
That's my bit.
Busta, when I started out, he hooked me up with a bunch of razor blades, and you can check them all out. Busta Blade series. I don't know why he did it. It was super nice. And Busta, if we could all just give you a hug right now, we would totally do
Thank
that.
you, guys.
A
Thank
virtual hug. Busta is the man. So
Well, I've officially hugged David and Khan in person,
yes.
and Rico.
Yeah, we hugged. I'm pretty sure we
And
hugged.
survived.
And did you hug?
Wait, what am I?
Well, I think did we hug?
I'm a hugger.
Douglas is a hugger. I hugged
He
Douglas.
is a hugger. I remember now. Okay, we hugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I think-
bromance moment was brought to you by.
Bye.
Yeah, are there any more questions? This is getting kind of weird.
Yeah, I know. So
No,
uh,
I appreciate it.
I'm getting
Now, the
looks
thing
as
is-
I just screamed out, I'm a hugger.
No,
Next to the bike trail.
I would encourage you out there, if you have stuff you're not using, giving is so
Give
much
it to
better.
Busta.
Giving is so much better than selling, in my opinion. You know, it makes you feel good, and especially for people that don't have stuff, it's so cool to give.
yeah, totally. It totally.
But
totally.
don't. Some people give for the wrong reasons, and I think
Yes.
they think it's like the whole piffing thing. It's like it's better to give than receive. I mean, like that's what it's all about. It's don't give and expect something in return. Else you're going to be let down over and over again. Especially, well, whatever. But I mean, like, but yeah, if you're into giving, it makes you feel good. Give.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're giving
Absolutely. And just a little shout out to that guy Jack. I know nobody's gonna really know him because that is an alias. I've said it before. But
What
just
up,
thank
Jack?
you because he contributed to about probably over 10 starter kits on his own. So Jack, if you're watching, dude, thank you so much. And he's also, he's giving stuff for me to keep myself, and I appreciate that, man, dude.
Jack gave me this. He gave me this shave soap. It's pretty awesome. Thank you, Jack.
I thought it was Tim. Anyway, speaking of, so kind of this is a good segue actually from what we were just talking about. We have kind of noticed, I think all of us to some extent in the wet shaving world, and Busta, you and I were kind of talking about this before the show, have experienced kind of burnout from time to time. You know, we do YouTube
Oh,
videos. We're in the wet shaving world.
didn't I bring this
We're
up last night?
Yes, you did bring this up last night. You said let's talk about it. So we're talking about it. So I think it happens to a lot of the guys in the community. It's a hobby. It's a thing where you acquire a lot of stuff, and then for me purposely, I'm trying not to buy stuff. And Douglas does make it painfully hard not to buy stuff
How you
because
love
there's so
it.
much stuff out there I want to buy. But I'm trying to save my money for a particular reason. But yeah, I think burnout happens. There was a time, I mean, when I first started, I was doing a lot of giveaways, and I got flack for doing giveaways. Kind of what you were saying with the piffing. Guys were giving me trash and I don't know, being trolls because I was giving stuff away, and they were, I don't know, they thought there was some kind of nefarious plan or plot behind why I was giving stuff away. I was like, no, I just want to help new guys that want to get into the hobby have good stuff, just kind of like what David was talking about. Uh, so, thoughts? Anybody want to jump in on topic
Sure.
of burnout, Douglas?
Well, yeah, burnout. Okay, I don't know if I think Con and I may have touched upon this on our last podcast. I'm not sure, but what usually happens is people come at this so passionate and so extreme that they go to one end, and they put all this weight and energy on one end, and it flips around eventually. You know, so now
Yes.
they're on the other end. They burnt out. They turn into, well, I'm only going to use one soap now for the next. It's like they do this. You see it over and over again. So I always, if you're a noob and you're listening right now, as Busta said, start slow. Otherwise, yeah, you will experience burnout. And you know, and you see this across the board. YouTubers too. You see YouTubers burn out also because they get so
Yes.
into it. They get so that, and they don't. I don't know what they're going for. Some of them are, they get something from it. They get something back, and when they stop getting something, they feel like they're not appreciated or like no one. You know, I don't know what it is, but that
That's a
adds
lot of
to the.
the older YouTubers, a lot of the a lot of the original guys. I don't want to throw names out, but
Oh, even
it
the
was a
younger
it
guys
was
too.
a
Even the
bi-
guys that have
it
been.
was a big
Even the guy.
controversy when a lot of us new YouTubers came out. A lot of people threw a lot of hate our way because we weren't the original guys. We weren't
Yes.
that first wave of YouTube shavers,
Well, there's
Yes.
and
another wave.
yeah, they really hated us. There's some guys that really can't stand us just for no
Yeah.
reason better than, oh, you're not like this guy that I used to watch that's been here since the beginning. I
Yeah.
don't give a damn if
Oh,
he's
you
been doing
you stole
videos for
that from
10
this
years.
guy. Yeah, no, well, that's not. I'm talking about though, just not the hate part. I'm just talking about the burnout part, and I
Yeah.
even see that happening with the new YouTubers too. And the thing is, this is another thing is like wet shaving years is like dog years. So when I say way back in the day, I'm actually talking about 2 months ago or 3 months ago. And so yeah, even a year ago, I'm seeing burnout with those guys that used to make wet shaving so much fun, and just it was just so much energy there. And now it's like. And the thing is, they're on this plane going down, but they're on their own plane going down. We don't all need to get on that plane with them, and
Yeah.
they're gonna figure it out and eventually pull out of that and get
Yeah.
pan out or whatever. But like, don't let them take you down with them. Like, let's stay positive. Let's keep doing it. Let's bring some new faces to the fold then. But yeah, but just don't be so extreme. Have fun
Yeah.
with it, but don't take it so serious. And just as with anything, like when you're like I said about giving, don't expect anything in return. If you want to make YouTube videos and tell us what's best and what's great out there or whatever,
Yes.
don't expect anything in return, but like if you like doing that, if that's your contribution to the community, awesome. I respect you, and you get my appreciation, you get my respect, but don't expect it from everybody. The
Yep.
people that matter are going to know that are going to see what you're doing and appreciate it and respect that. And so a salute to all of you people that are experiencing burnout right now. I'm not taking it personal, but I just want to say we need to be aware that this happens, and yeah, we just need to be aware that it happens and look out for it.
Yeah. I just want to throw in real quick my quick perspective on this is I think in terms of seasons, and I just think if you're in any hobby, there's seasons. I mean, there's going to be like highs in the season, there's going to be lows, and maybe I'm not buying as much stuff right now, not because I don't want to, just because I've got other things going on that I'm trying to focus on. But Busta, what do you think about kind of burnout in the wet shaving community? We see a lot of guys kind of come and go, or they're really active for a while and then they leave. We're not saying this because we're not picking on any particular
No,
person.
Busta's I think is a great example because I've seen Busta go through like these phases too.
Yeah, and yeah, I was going to talk about that. I agree with Douglas. I mean, I think what it is you start doing something and you start expecting a certain expectation, and then you want more of it, and you want more of it, and it needs to get higher and higher. It gets to the point where there's no way you're going to get to where you want. I mean, it's almost like you're looking for the unachievable. And then what happens is, and this happened to me, you know, I was doing a lot of videos, I was doing a lot of product reviews, I was doing a lot of new stuff, and it was fun and exciting, but then, you know, I would have, in order for it to continue to be fun and exciting, I'd probably end up having to buy more soap than the world has. I mean, it gets to the point where it becomes so addicting that you have to have just the very best, and so what's funny is, I'd stop doing the video, and one day I just shaved with an old razor, an old brush, and shaved for no reason other than shaving. And you're like, wow, I feel so much better right now.
Yeah.
And it's because you built it up way too much. And so I think what you have to do is find some kind of balance. You know, you have to say, look, I am going to do the video, and I'm going to be happy about this video, but at the same point, maybe the next shave needs to just be a regular shave where I'm just happy shaving. You know, because I remember when I first started, especially after the first couple of shaves, I was just happy shaving, you know? And so I think that's why people get burnt out, is because they expect too much too fast.
Yeah.
And when they don't get the expectation, oh, I feel much better not even having to try. And I see it, and I don't know.
That very thing you're saying right there, Busta, is the reason why I never changed the format that I do my videos. A lot of people have kind of come at me because I don't do a professional review or give scoring systems. I've kept it as just like a kind of like a vlog for me.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a video diary, just because I want to be able to enjoy it. And if I have to have a lot of structure, I think I'll get bored and burned out. Like right now, I'm not doing as many videos, not because I'm burned out. I'm just too damn busy. During this season, I'm a football coach, so it's very chaotic for me right now. But I've been blessed that I haven't really suffered that burnout too much. Just for the simple fact that I'm still doing just very laid back and just very personal videos. And yeah, I've seen that happen. Like our buddy Chris Bailey's kind of going through that similar issue right now. That he's just got burnt out doing all his reviews. That he's just enjoying shaving. And hell, great to Chris Bailey, man. Congratulations for finally enjoying your shit, you know. But you know, just having that expectation is, I agree with you wholeheartedly that it really wears on you.
Yeah. Con, you have any thoughts on this?
Yep. My thoughts probably stem back to a book I read way back in 2000 by Malcolm Gladwell called Tipping Point. Everything has a tipping point. Okay. And of course, Gladwell said that, you know, there's the law of the few, this 80-20 principle where 80% of the work will only be done by 20% of the people in the hobby and all that sort of stuff. And you know, he goes on to talk about connectors and the 80-20 principle. And economists have known it for a while. Look, everything it reaches a point where people just get sick of seeing the same thing. We all have to at some point reassess, modify the way we do things. Not the way we do things, but maybe the frequency in which we do things. I've taken a very deliberate step and not producing as many videos as now. People get sick of you. They don't want to see the same. You know, they don't want to see the same thing over and over again, unless you're willing to come up with a new concept, and that takes time and effort. And let's face it, this is more effort than people would know. And all of you who have made videos would know that there is an inordinate amount of time that goes into producing these things, into making these things. As for wet shaving, you know, I've burnt out. I've got 8,000 soaps. I don't know if I need any more. There's kind of a feedback loop. Start giving to people, talking about it. The lull that we see and that we've experienced is totally natural. It's not peculiar to wet shaving. It happens across a whole range of human endeavors and social groups. And I don't mean social as in social media groups. I'm talking about, you know, even small towns, and people get sick of it. I just want to see this guy again. I don't want to look at this again, you know. And you'll find that even with social media, when you're getting the thumbs down, they come in flurries as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, you'll go through a period where you'll score so many thumbs down, and you think, what have I done? What did I do? Piss in the well? I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't think that.
But that's just it. Everything has a natural life, Again, I urge you to read Malcolm Gladwell's book. It's a very accessible book. He talks about this tipping point where people reach a point where they say, no. And really, let's face it, wet shaving went through an epidemic period where it rose and for inexplicably, man, I've got to get a new soap, I've got to get this in. I think we still need to keep producing and purchasing products. I guess the way we talk about them needs to probably change in some way. I still love the format of the folks that I watch. I'm probably a little bit more critical of my own stuff, and sometimes I think less is more.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, speaking of the thumbs up and thumbs down thing, Con, I think if people are gonna give you thumbs down, they should do that in real life too. Like, if like during the course of the day, like, look what I do to you. Look what, or at a meetup, just so you know who they are. Just like, oh hey, nice to meet you.
It'd be cool if it was just like imprinted on their head when you saw them.
Yeah.
Dude, I got guys that are subscribed to me just for the sake of thumbing me down.
Yes.
Like, I'll upload a video, and literally, like, less than a minute later, I have like 3 thumbs down. I'm like, shit, you couldn't even finish the fucking video. You already thumbed me. God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
they do that. I don't. Now, who does that? I mean, like, really, like, what is missing in your life that you need to subscribe to someone just to make sure you give them the?
Yeah.
Yes.
now
Hey,
that
that's
we're
people
talking
just
about
lacking,
this,
bro. Like, people that just don't got nothing better in their life, man.
there is something missing.
I don't pay
like,
attention.
Move out of your parents' basement. Get a girlfriend. I don't know. That's just 2 things.
That's
I can give you a
another.
list.
That's another issue. Why a lot of people have complained that we don't make a lot of videos of stuff we don't like. Well, because we avoid shit we don't like. So if something sounds like we don't like it, we don't use it.
I know.
I'm
Well,
not
they
gonna
feed
buy
off
some
that.
shit. I'm not
They
gonna do
feed
a
off the
review on
negative
some
energy.
shit that I think I'm gonna dislike just for the sake of
Yeah.
complaining. No, I don't want to fucking go through that.
Yeah,
They
totally.
will feed off it, and that's why I don't give them any recognition. If they do sort of attack me nowadays, I don't even talk about it anywhere. If I see
Yeah.
stuff on the wall, I just erase it because negativity just begets negativity. You don't need that energy in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't say
They
nothing
feed
publicly.
off
You
it.
just message me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But they're psychic vampires. Like, they need that negative energy, so they need to make it happen. If they don't see it anywhere, they need to make it happen somewhere, and it's just, they feed off it. It's killing them too.
See,
Yeah.
I've got to say that somebody like Buster, who has had his fair share of downvotes, just keeps at it. He just keeps plugging away, and he does his thing. And we've experienced some very hateful downvotes and some very, very negative comments. You've just got to keep doing what you're doing. In fact, I yearn for the day where a guy puts up a video and he gets 300 downvotes and only 1 upvote, because that day will mean that downvotes will become fashionable, and then people will start upvoting again.
The star bellies.
Just to be
Star
different.
bellies. Turn off your mic, David.
No, you're good, man.
Star
So,
belly
I completely
sneeches. Star
agree
belly
on that.
sneeches.
so Buster, real quick, what do you think on that part? Thumbs up, thumbs down, the haters out
Well,
there.
that's. Can I interject really quick?
Yes.
I want to. That has to do with the burnout too. So that thing
Yeah.
that you're going for, that you're not getting the feedback from, and that is turning you off. You're also seeing stuff like that. So to noobs out there that are going to get involved in like wet shaving media, participating in starting blogs, starting a YouTube channel, so on, so you're gonna get this stuff. This is a reality. You're gonna get thumbs down. Ignore them. But you're gonna get them because people just they live for that crap. So that's another thing to don't let it bring you down, because it really doesn't mean anything to anybody.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them. Like I get this heavy. Like I feel really depressed for them. Like I'm like, who is out there that does this? Like what is? I mean, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for me. I feel bad for them. Like Jesus.
I mean, at first it kind of bothered me, but I've gotten to the point where it's going to happen. That's the thing. I've already come to the grips that it's going to happen. There's going to be people that want to hate, and that's just it. But I still love what I'm doing, and the thing that I like the most is, and I don't get it all the time, but when I do get it, it's the most rewarding. People contact me and say, hey, you're the reason I got into wet shaving. I love this product. Thank you so much for the I just had one just the other day. Thank you for your recommendation of the smoke brushes. I'm using my smoke, and I love smoke. And it makes it all worth it. And you don't even realize to the extent, because I think sometimes people, even though they love your stuff, they're not just going to be like, hey, dude. I mean, I think sometimes people don't want to bother you because they think that if they bother you, but like when this soap got released, no, I'm just joking. But when this soap got released, I had so many comments from people that I had never heard from that said, "Oh, I'm so grateful that you got your soap." I mean, seriously, and it just I laugh because I'm not the kind of person that will in person come to you and say, hey, you should try wet shaving. I'm not a one-on-one person, kind of sociable person that way. But so for the longest time, especially when I got into it, I said, there's no way I'm going to convert anybody to wet shaving because I'm never going to go up to somebody that I work with and try to get them into this. But I started doing these videos, and now I've probably converted hundreds or thousands of people to wet shaving. And to me, that's all worth it. You could thumbs down me a million times, but the fact that somebody's really happy about the way they're shaving and it has to do with me, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and that said, people watching, thumbs up more. You know, it's so much easier to say. It's so much easier to say something negative, to give a horrible review, but it's hard to do a positive one. I notice. Like I will see more negative reviews on something than a positive review. No one goes out of their way to review something in a positive light. Sometimes, most of the time, it's just there's no motivation behind it. They're happy with it. They moved on. They got what they paid for. It's the negative experience that whatever that's so much easier to do. People go out of their way to do that.
Yeah, totally. And also, just so you guys know, I think all of us on the panel have dealt with negative people out there, and we just want to let all the haters out there know we love you. And this segment of the show was sponsored by Altonsbrook. I don't really, no, not really, but we do love you. So thumbs up more. Get thumbs ups and hugs.
We wrote a song about you, and we're going to sing it now.
Now, David loves you, but if he sees you in person, he'll kick the crap out of you.
Or make you eat.
Well, honestly, you know, if they stuck around this long.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Well, it seems like we've reached the end of our show.
Yeah. So, guys, we really have. It's kind of crazy now. Every week now, I'm really shocked at how fast the time flies by, and we haven't reached the end of our show. I want to say a big thanks and a congratulations to Busta on your soap and for being
Simon.
on with us. And Simon.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Simon, for getting married. Also, I wanted to bring up real quick before we just jet out of here. Wanted to bring up next weekend.
Chances are we won't.
Yeah, next weekend is the Meetup, the Dirty South Shavers Meetup.
Yeah.
That is going on
The
16th and the 17th. And let me get back over here. Things are kind of sluggish on my end. So we got Soap Commander Cookout, October 16th. If you want to find out more information, go to Mid-South Wet Shavers G Plus community on the G Plus channel, and you can get all that information if you got nothing to do.
What? It's Dirty South Wet Shavers.
Yeah. But there's a community group called Mid-South Wet Shavers G Plus community group that's got.
It's dirty. It's real dirty.
Then the actual meetup is happening at noon. Dirty South Shavers Mid-South Wet Shavers Meetup, and that is one's in Ardmore, Alabama, and the other one, I'm trying to find the info. Redneck, a referee, and a razor. That's kind of funny. Hold on.
Wait. So there's two? What's going on here?
Yeah. They're having
one.
They're going to a cookout the night before at
Soap Commanders.
Soap Commander, and then the next day is the actual meetup.
Isn't it funny how Rico's telling me about a meetup
that you're going to?
Yeah.
You're going? And by the way,
I announce that meetup every week.
I know.
Yeah.
We wanted to plug it before because it's just happening. And Douglas is making an awesome. What are you making? An aftershave, right?
Hold on, it's somewhere in the car. Here you go, Busta.
Oh man.
Yes, he's making.
Yes.
Douglas Smythe. Yeah. It's gonna be an epic meetup. I don't
Dude,
think
I'm gonna have to figure that out real quick when the cops pull up next to my car.
it's just
No,
aftershave,
officer,
guys.
it's cool. Smell this.
Yeah,
You want
exactly.
a sniffy? No, it's not what you think.
Sniffy.
So, Soap Commander's making a soap. Douglas with Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements is making an aftershave. Jammin' G.I. James is going to be there. Lots of great people. It'll be a fun time.
It's gonna be
I
epic.
really,
It's gonna be
I
totally
want to be
epic.
there. I don't think I can make it. I don't. I wish we could go. A lot of us can't go, but guys that are going to be there, hope you have a great time. And if you never been to Meetup and you're close
I'll be
by,
broadcasting.
you got to check it out. So going back to Busta, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you,
Congratulations on the soap. Real quick, plug the soap one more time. Where can they get it to buy it if they want to check it out?
Busta's Blend, and right now I think you can only get it at timssoap.com.
And
but
if guys wanted to go on.
I was just going to say, odds are, since it's an unlimited release, if it sells, it'll probably be at Shave Revolution and some other places too.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if people wanted to find you and check you out, where would they do that at Busta?
Everything's Shave Busta. So shavebusta.com. On Twitter, it's at Shave Busta. Instagram, Shave Busta. Everywhere. So just search Google for Shave Busta, and if somebody else comes up, call me and let me know.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can throw them down.
Exactly.
Yes. And David, the Truth Gonzalez, where can people find you at, sir? Nice.
Excellent. Beautiful.
Fantastic. Hey,
Nice.
and a quick question for you, David. I went on to your Stay Sharp, So Sharp Limited website, and all your shirts were sold out. Are they going to come back in stock? Oh, nice. Sweet.
Hey, Dave, I'm waiting for the poncho and sombrero.
Yeah. Is it that hard to find in LA? I don't know. So,
Hey. From what I understand, David, everyone has one. Everyone has. Okay, never mind.
Oh, man.
So guys, stay tuned for David out there on his So Sharp Limited website for new t-shirts coming out. I'm excited about that. Con, let's jump on down to you. Where can people find the man who doesn't ever want to be found?
At Shave the Man.
Shave
Just
the
everywhere
Man.
at Shave the Man. That's right.
And our favorite captain, Douglas Smythe. Where can people find you?
She's in a parking lot or a
Oh,
park, and I'm probably not supposed to be next to the bike trail currently. But it's super creepy, man.
On the side of the road selling soaps and
I learned it from
aftershave.
Wesley. CrownKingShaving.com, PhoenixArtisanAccoutrements.com, and I appreciate everyone who's watched and staying with us.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Thanks, though. I mean, it's really.
I think the greater challenge is where can we not find him?
That's true.
Exactly.
That's part of the problem.
You can find him also at Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements for all the awesome shaving products and Crown King.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
You're kind of breaking up, but we got you.
Okay.
And as always, you guys can find me at Rico's Corner pretty much everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. Check us out, subscribe. We appreciate it if you do. Also, you can check out this show at the Wet Shavers Roundtable on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, thumbs up. If you thumbs down, we'll still love you for it. And we hope you're having a good one. We will talk to you guys later. Ciao.
See you guys.
Adios.